minor issues and existential problems. You don't judge your response to existential problems because something with the flotilla did this or that. Israel will continue to strike the enemies it has around it with Goldstone or without Goldstone, because if Israel takes Goldstone seriously, Israel will cease to exist. So it's not even an option to say we will not do it because somebody, or even a lot of people, or even a lot of countries will have criticism. Because if Israel does not use force from time to time, it will stop to exist. In this part of the world, it is simply impossible. By the way, this is exactly the attempt of the radicals and their dumb supporters in Europe to make Israel incapable of self-defense, so that Israel will be afraid to respond with force with what it must respond with force. So this notion I would not take seriously. When you have an existential problem, then the question of what kind of articles will be written in the newspapers or what kind of diplomatic steps will be taken become irrelevant. Unpleasant, but irrelevant. The one thing that counts is the United States. And I agree, we have a very serious problem with the United States in general, not just with the Obama administration, and particularly with the Obama administration.
What can happen though, if we do something which is against or not seen in a positive light?
First of all, the Obama administration or the United States under these circumstances can make even the operative options very, very limited. Remember, we have to fly over certain countries. We have certain things that we need to do. If and when we lose aircraft, somebody must sell us other aircraft. So we are in a problem when it comes to the only ally that Israel has today. And when you have a regime that is very clearly against such an operation, it will be very difficult to take the decision to do it. And if we do it, it will be very difficult to deal with later. I'm not saying that Israel will not do anything that the Americans don't sanction. I mean, remember, we attacked the nuclear reactor in Iraq, and we had American sanctions after that on a very minor scale. But when it comes to this kind of operation, with the magnitude of the significance of it and the nature of the present American administration, we have a very serious problem. But one thing that I would like to stress, the question is the question of how much we can hurt the nuclear project is not the most important question, not for an Israeli military action and not for an American military action. The question is, can you levy such a price from Iran that they will reconsider the nuclear project? You don't necessarily have to destroy all the elements of the nuclear project. You can hit Iran so hard, particularly the United States. They have the capability of staying over Iran for weeks. I agree with what Yossi said. I mean, we can come and go, okay, once, twice, 3 times if we're very, very good. And then we have pinpointed objectives that we can reach there, but we don't have a strategic air force. We have an air force that can undertake strategic objectives from time to time, but we don't have a strategic air force. The only power that has a strategic air force is the United States. And they can destroy Iran, not just the nuclear project, and to make it impossible for Iran to continue if the Americans are determined. But under Obama, putting determination and America in the same sentence has a syntax problem. Okay? So I don't think that this is going to happen. If we had a determined American administration, blockade would be a step before military action, and this can work. Now, is it very difficult when Russia is not on board and when China is not on board? Yes, but can it really hurt Iran in a very major way? Yes. At the moment, the Iranians don't have a dilemma. As long as Obama has this policy, they don't even have a dilemma. I don't think anybody in Iran is even considering the option of abandoning it, particularly because Obama proved that he is incapable of leading anything that will have a major effect in Iran. I hope I'm wrong, but this is what it looks like now.
Do you agree with him? Is anybody in Iran considering stopping this program?
I don't think it's a question that's up to if it's Obama or Bush or anybody else. For Khamenei, he needs to have the bomb because to him, the bomb is a means to an end. What's the end? He wants to keep Iran isolated because the one thing that could demolish his regime is if he has relations with the West. To me, reading Iran for the last number of years, I see that if Khamenei one day hears the sound of Israeli Air Force planes over Natanz, he will consider that as a danger to the Iranian nuclear program. If one day he hears Air Force One approaching Imam Khomeini Airport to Tehran, coming on a state visit, the United States coming to visit the president, he would consider that as a threat to the existence of his regime. The biggest reason why he wants to have the nuclear bomb is he wants to keep Iran isolated. He doesn't want Iran to have good relations with the West, especially with the United States, because he knows how the Iranian population are. He knows how they view the West so favorably. He knows about something like 1 million Iranian Americans who live in America. And the Iranian government says Americans are racist, and every day they're calling the families in Iran and telling them what a wonderful life they're having. This is why he wants the bomb, and this is, without it, his regime can fall apart. And I think there's very few things that can stop him.
Okay, we have a bit of a no solution stream here. But maybe if we open the discussion up, and one solution is the internal solution, which Meir has been talking about. Do you see any other solutions? Okay, there's the military solution, which you both explained why is a bit of a problem.
Yes,
I don't see any solution to the problem in the foreseeable future. As I said earlier, judging from historical precedent, this rotten, decadent, oppressing regime eventually would disappear, but it would take some years, and if it disappears, it would come from within, a revolution from within. The same way the Soviet Union, the Soviet Empire crumbled. And until it happens, there is no solution. What we would see more countries in the region, assuming that Iran would have the bomb, and I think it's up to them. No, it's no longer to other countries to decide whether Iran would have to bomb or not. It's up to the Iranians. They have the technological know-how already. They have the material. If they want to enrich what they have to a high degree of 90%, they can produce fissile material. They have they conducted experiments and tests already 10 years ago how to enrich uranium to a very high level. They had tests how to assemble, how to create a chain reaction to assemble the bomb, so they can have the bomb if they want it. Within maybe a few months, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half. Once they have the bomb, if they have the bomb, then other countries, as Dan Shiftan said, in the region would rush to have a bomb.
That's again the dead-end solution.
But basically, yes, the Middle East and the world could live. It's a dangerous assumption, but would have to live in the shadow of a new reality, a reality in which more and more countries in the region and in the world would have nuclear weapons.
Okay, Mary, do you have any ideas?
There's just one point I'd like to add, is that another reason why Iran is going to go after the bomb is Turkey.
And how does that go?
Because the Iranians have been investing billions of dollars in Lebanon and in Gaza. Today, you see Turkish flags in Gaza, people calling their children Erdogan. I've not heard of one Gazan calling their child Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, and there's not one Iranian flag to be seen. Well, they're very happy when they take Iran's money, so it's not a question of...